Banker's Quietus, 11th of April, 1890. Be quiet, woman, from the music hall. The world's first consulting detective, Sherlock Holmes, turns from the fire where he was restored some measure of warmth to his hands, and comes to his seat before his morning breakfast. Sitting with us around the table are Inspector Lestrade and Dr. Watson. Well, Lestrade, what brings you to our humble abode on this cold, windy morning? An ill wind, I presume?
What a stupid thing to say.
You presume correctly, Mr. Holmes. Murder. Ah, indeed. Who was the victim, and what are the details? The victim was one Oswald Mason, chief accountant for the Bank of England. He was found murdered at his home at 10 o'clock last evening, by his... I'm sorry, Holmes. The chill wind has got into my breeches.
Sorry. When was he killed?
10 o'clock last evening.
Right.
Which is the night time. By his...
Does it give you a date?
But he says where he was killed by.
It's
no easy case. He was killed by...
Yeah.
By his wife, upon her return from an evening out. He seems to have been a simple, hard-working man leading a quiet and unassuming life.
What a horrible thing to say.
And on the surface, there seems to be no motive for the murder. Well, Lestrade, I don't think you came out on a morning like this to tell me that you have a murder with no motive. I can't believe that Scotland Yard has exhausted all its resources and must now turn to me. Lestrade does not immediately respond. He keeps his dark eyes focused on the plate of kippers in the centre of the table. After a moment, he raises his eyes from said kippers and looks at Holmes. You're right, Mr. Holmes. I think it... He changes his voice. You're right, Mr. Holmes. I think it's premature, but I am here on the request of the Exchequer. It seems that Mr. Mason was doing some work for the Treasury. And
Mason's in the Treasury.
And the Chancellor wants to make sure that Mason's death has nothing to do with the work he was involved in. Illuminati confirmed. Do you have any evidence that the murder was related to the Treasury matter? No, none whatsoever. I tried to... I'm really bad at my job. I tried to convince the Chancellor that unless some new evidence turns up, it looks like Mason's death is just another commonplace murder that I am sure the Yard can solve. I am sure, Lestrade, but I have said before, and depend upon it, there is nothing so unnatural as the commonplace. Right at the moment, I am finishing up a vexatious puzzle, so maybe my friends here will be able to look into the matter until I am free. And so it begins our story of murder,
Okay.
and I nearly
Well,
looked at the solution.
That's the murder there.
Do you want to read it then? Someone should read it.
I can make notes.
I read it in a newspaper boy voice.
Do you want this?
A murder was committed.
A murderer was committed. Oh, great. We've already got him.
A murder
A
was committed in Bloomsbury last night. Shortly after 10 p.m, Constable Lane, summoned by cries from help, entered the home at 42 Tottenham Court Road of Mr. Oswald Mason.
I can't carry on with this. Chief accountant of the Bank of England, and found the body of...
He's a 14-year-old newspaper boy.
And found the body of Mr. Mason sprawled across the desk in his study, where he had apparently been murdered by a blow to the head. Mr. Mason's body was discovered by his wife upon her return to their home around 10 p.m. The police report only that the intruder apparently entered by an upstairs window, and, judging by the disarray of the study, a struggle occurred, where Mr. Mason met his death. As of this time, the crime has not been brought home to any Perron person. Or Heron.
The bloody errands.
But the best detectives of Scotland Yard are now involved in the investigation and search for the perpetrators of this bloody crime. Those bloody herons. Mr. Mason is survived by his wife, Rose, and a brother, Cecil.
Oh, so he did it.
Cecil has...
Oh! You heard it.
What?
I killed a man.
Cecil, stop singing your thoughts.
Did you say his brother or her brother?
His
And
brother.
a brother, Cecil.
No, they're not related. There is a brother named Cecil.
One random brother.
It
So,
was suicide.
Can we do the... Yes.
he
nice
fell on his
work.
own hammer.
There.
We can
You
look
highlight
up
those people.
Look at the names in there.
Or we could read the paper.
Yes, we can read the paper.
Yes.
How do you want to do this? Should we
Just
actually
read
look
the
through the
paper.
back, or should we just read through the paper?
We don't know what we're
Well,
looking
there's
for
quite a
yet.
few murders on this side.
Or do we simply just want to go to the scene, get a taste for the case, and then know what we're looking for?
That's what we're looking for.
And
Yeah.
look at the paper.
Because sometimes you can read things and they seem utterly inconsequential, so you sort of skim read them, and then it comes up at the...
So we're looking for...
Obviously, we have to go to the scene.
So we're looking for Rose Mason, I guess, then, or Oswald Mason in the...
Well, it said they were 42 Tottenham Court Road.
we already had the address, but
So we don't have the
But,
number.
yeah.
WC. 42. Water closet,
42
42.
WC.
So, Ben, you do some writing,
That's
and I'll
Oswald
do some
Mason.
reading.
That's
Should we leave
Oswald
that
Mason.
page, and that page blank and start there?
Oswald Mason.
And then that give us
42
notes,
WC, thou says.
That's Rose Mason is
Not very long.
Only this injuries felt under his...
Constable Parks, on duty at the Mason House, shows us the study, the scene of the crime. We find the study in shambles. The office chair has fallen back, and all elements which were on the desk are scattered on the ground. So it's possible somebody's actually searched the desk. And in the struggle, it's been him. The inkwell has spilled its contents on the carpet, and the stain has extended to a book which was apparently on the desk. The knickknacks from the commode. Isn't that a toilet?
Yeah.
Oh. The knickknacks from the commode have also been knocked over, but the furniture from the back of the room is intact. At the foot of the window, we also find the fragments of a completely destroyed plaster statuette. Wiggins is near the window, a magnifying glass in his hand, examining the windowsill. There's a palm print here on the windowsill. It looks as though it's been left in a residue of plaster dust, says Wiggins as he replaces his magnifying glass in his coat.
Yeah.
Yes. A palm print.
So that part.
Yeah.
In plaster dust.
Where was the body found, Parks? It was sprawled across the desk. You can see the bloodstain on the top. The blighter put up quite a fight, I must say. How was he killed? He was bashed in by a statue. It was sent over to the lab for old Murray to look at. Is there any indication of how the murderer got into the house? It looks as if he entered by the upstairs window. It was found open, and it shows signs of forced entry. Who found the body? His wife. She said she was at her weekly whist game at the West End Social Club. That'll be somewhere to look.
Yeah.
She arrived home around 10 o'clock and found her husband dead. Did she see anyone in or around the house? She said she saw and heard nothing. She is a blind, deaf mute. No. Is the room as she found it? Yes. She said that as soon as she saw her husband lying sprawled across the desk, she ran outside for help. Constable Lane came at the sound of her cries and took charge. The only things removed were the body, which was taken to Bart's, and some of Mr. Mason's papers, which were taken to Scotland Yard. Oh yes, and the statue, which was sent to the criminology lab. And where is Mrs. Mason? She was in a state of shock and was taken to her sister, Mrs. Edward Farmer.
That was a lot of information there.
Where
There
was
was
the
a lot of
statue
things.
set?
To Murray in the criminology slam.
So there's a lot of
Lot
places
there, that's good.
And the papers at Scotland Yard.
This might be the first time we have legitimate reason to visit Scotland Yard, because those papers are going to be quite telling.
Oh, so, right.
So I've got...
His papers weren't taken. They've been given to
For some reason,
There's a
Scotland
whole-
Yard have taken them.
They've been given to Scotland
No,
Yard.
because they were
Right.
told to take them.
No, but they haven't been taken.
No,
as
well,
in
we
like-
don't know that
upstairs,
nothing's been
fallen
nicked,
back,
because
there's
everything's
nothing
in a state of disarray.
Ink and a book sprayed everywhere.
Yeah, but then
Probably has no bearing.
Didn't you just say that
Back furniture was
nothing's
intact.
been taken?
No, you didn't say that.
With a
Oh,
handprint
okay.
palm in plaster dust.
Yeah.
Body on the desk with the head bashed in. Upstairs,
And
entered
it
with
said
the...
about heavy object. Did it say about a heavy object? Because that could have been the thing that was...
It's a statue.
statue.
He says the only things removed were those things, yeah?
Yeah.
But that does...
Yeah.
I get the impression
Could have
that's
been,
what...
like, socked with something.
Oh,
didn't
it's
it?
No, sorry, I'm talking about, like,
Enter
when Alec was
upstairs
talking about
window, so
theft.
it's
I don't think
full
it means
entry.
nothing was stolen,
Oh, right.
just the only things they've removed.
Did it say the upstairs window was forced entry?
Entered by an upstairs window, it was found open and it shows signs of forced entry.
And then what was after the window bit?
The West End Social Club.
Yeah.
She done
Yeah.
that meeting.
10 o'clock is the time that keeps getting mentioned.
That's when she got back.
Yeah, that's when she
Found
arrived,
the
yeah.
body.
Yeah, so he could have been killed beforehand.
Oh, yeah,
Wife
you have
saw
No, but-
nothing and no one.
and heard nothing as well.
So-
And there was also that interesting mention.
And the body was at Bart's, the statues at Murray's, and the papers are at Scotland Yard.
Yeah.
It also makes the mention that, but the furniture from the back of the room is intact.
Yeah.
So while there was a struggle,
It didn't go. It wasn't huge.
do you know what I mean? It was a brief
So-
struggle. Well, it says he put up a
Somebody could have
fight.
been stealing something from his desk and caught them, and then they.
Well, it's
struggled,
interesting
but-
that he was killed with this plaster, with this statue, because that suggests a murderer who didn't bring a weapon, which
Yeah.
suggests the primary intent was not murder, but
Just
theft.
talk or
No,
something.
but theft.
Well,
Because you don't break into somebody's house to
Yeah.
have a talk.
Yeah.
They did it on instinct.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was a theft gone wrong.
Mm.
Perhaps he normally goes with his wife to the whist game, but didn't go this time, which would be surprising, or which actually would be in keeping with his character, because he's a very by the numbers sort of person.
Well,
Where does it say that Rose was now?
She's at the sisters, which is.
Got the address near the end, hasn't it?
Oh, Mrs. Edward Farmer. A sister. That's her sister.
I don't think he went to the whist games.
Well, we don't know yet.
No. I don't think he did, because otherwise the police officer would have said she was returning from their usual whist game, which he wasn't at.
Yeah,
No,
that would be.
We'd have to talk to her.
This has only
No,
very
yeah.
recently happened.
Yes, but she's obviously told the police things.
Okay, well, let's see.
The
Let's
police.
see.
Okay, I don't necessarily think going to her
Is the first thing.
is the first thing at all.
Well, shall we go to Scotland Yard to see what these have a look at these documents,
Or about the body.
or the bank
Or the bank.
to
yeah.
speak
Say
to
what bank
to-
you work for.
the
Bank of
Bank of
England.
London,
England.
England, even
Bank of England.
because
Was it the Bank of England?
Yeah.
yeah,
Because there's
because
more than one bank.
he's the chief accountant
Yeah.
at
Chief
the
accountant of the Bank of England.
Yeah.
Cool, that's fine.
because they're the ones that are kicking up a stink about this case. Scotland Yard aren't kicking up a stink.
Mm.
It's
No.
the
Oh,
Bank
you
of
did
England.
that.
So we need to know, because really the motive is based at the Bank of England,
Yes, yeah.
and it's not murder. The motive of this crime was not to kill someone.
Theft.
No, it's definitely theft.
It's
Number
got
one.
to be theft.
Yeah.
So it's
I-
your call.
I
Come on, spider writing.
Oh, and then
I say we go to the Bank of England
I like that because every other crime has been motivated by passion. Really,
Yeah.
Bank of
this
England,
doesn't strike me as
23,
passion.
23 EC.
I don't think we've got anything yet to look in the paper with.
Not well. The paper should probably be out of it.
That
We found some
really, let's do
information,
it
but-
differently because we've always read the paper first.
First.
Really,
We
we
should
should be looking
we
at the
should
paper
look back
for
at what the
leads.
Bank of England has been doing in the
Well,
past.
let's
though,
find out
so-
what they're up to here first, shall we?
No.
No, I agree though. The Bank of England could be very
What's her
relevant to
name?
look.
Farmer. Let's look
Yeah,
up
Mrs.
her-
Edward Farmer,
Look up her residence.
23.
23 EC apparently.
What was her name?
Edward Farmer.
33 WC.
Cool, I'll make a note of that. It's not in there.
No, it is.
Oh,
Is it really
Uh,
long?
There's something nice on the opposite page. Don't follow it.
spoilers.
Mr. Ned Kimball, the chief cashier of the bank, receives us in his office. We find him behind a massive desk which does his large frame justice, as we reckon his bulk to be well over 15 stones in weight.
Right, fact.
No, yeah, that.
So he didn't do
that-
it. He didn't get through an upstairs window.
No.
Well, no.
He's spry for his bouncy age.
No.
No, he's got a big frame.
Yeah.
Big old sexy frame.
The silver-haired Kimball greets us affably,
Oh, and old.
He's also old.
Yeah.
although he speaks with gravity and a shake of
Well,
his
he's got his own
head.
gravity.
And a shake of his head at the tragedy of Mason's murder. I just can't imagine why anyone would want to do such a thing. Was sort of extra chattel, pretty much.
Chattanooga.
The chap, he was certainly on the chat. He was certainly well liked by all of his fellow workers here at the bank. How long has he been with the Bank of England? He started with us more than 15 years.
15 score? He's an immortal. This case has been blown wide
years
open.
ago.
More than 15 years ago.
So he's been working there.
He has always been one of our most trusted and valued employees. And 5 years ago, he was enthusiastically approved as a choice for chief accountant, despite his relative youth.
Maybe bumped up for
Well,
or something.
no. I think they're
As
lucky.
you may know, the bank is controlled by its directors,
No.
but they have little to do with the day-to-day operation of the business, because they're very, very black. That is my responsibility. Mason was my second in command.
Who was the first?
I was the first.
I've got your back. Who's watching my back?
Was he ever involved in any controversy or quarrel over bank business of which you are aware? Most certainly not. As I said, he was well liked and did his job superbly. What do you know about his work with the Treasury? Very little. One of our responsibilities is to oversee government audits.
Oh.
This was Oswald's area of responsibility. This work is highly confidential. You will have to talk to the governor, Lionel Foxcroft.
Big name.
How do you spell Lionel?
Lionel.
Lion. Lionel.
Lion.
Lionel Johnson!
Who is named after
Magic Johnson, the basketball
the poet.
player. Magic Johnson isn't a poet, he's a basketball
Lionel Johnson, the poet, who wrote the poem Dark Angel, which is what the chapter is named after.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay, cool. So Lionel Johnson.
Lionel Foxcroft.
Not Johnson.
We can't find this man, he's on the run!
Right, if you have any questions about this,
He's on the run.
I'm sorry, that's all I know. Would you object to our checking out his office? No, I suppose that would be acceptable.
Can we have some free samples?
I thought that Mason's secretary, Mrs. Mabel Brown,
Secretary.
would be the best person to sort through his papers. But she is this is a great one. But she is reported. But
You're alright, sir. Have you had an allergic
You
reaction?
become more like Boss Nass.
But she has reported in ill today. Nothing has been done in that regard.
Oh, dude, she's 100% involved.
Could you give us a
Affair.
list? Could you give us a list of
Not
the
Oswald.
other members of Mason's staff? Yes, I would.
Oh,
be
hold on. More
I
names.
would be glad to.
Yeah, but I've been...
None of them are here right now, as I gave them the day off. He takes his pen out of his inkwell
That's interesting.
and begins to write.
So he gave them all the day off, but Mabel Brown
Has called
Took
it
the day.
ill.
took the day off.
Or she's called in ill.
Yeah,
Yes.
but she's getting the day off anyway, silly Will.
Well, she didn't know that when she called it.
Oh, did well.
Well, if I can give you any further assistance,
Perhaps she...
Do not rush the
please let me know. With these
There's
words,
a
he
pie in there, sir.
with these words,
Money
he
pie.
hands us the following list and shows us the door. The door.
Lovely.
There we
Lovely.
go.
Richard Cates.
Richard Cape?
Richard
His name.
Cates.
Kates.
Dicky Cake.
What's he?
With a K.
Mason's assistant. Cates with a K.
He's an assistant to Mason's.
He's Mason's assistant, is what it's called. Miss Joanna Bailey. Bailey as in Bale.
Wife of the old Bailey.
Right.
Head clerk.
She's in charge of his head.
Yeah, she Clark's his head.
That sounds like a murdering technique.
And Mrs. Mabel Brown.
Oh, the
That's
secretary.
it,
as well,
yeah.
okay.
Mason's secretary. A check of Mason's desk reveals the following item.
Oh, God, this has been an orgy of evidence.
Should we just... Well, should we go through that, or do you want me to... I'll find you the names afterwards.
Yeah. So, this is Tuesday the 8th.
Tuesday
Or
the
9th. Yeah. Everson and
No,
No,
Tuesday
Tuesday
the
the
8th, Wednesday the 9th,
Oh,
Thursday
yeah.
the 10th. Edson Code gives.
Gibbs.
Oh. So was this the statue he was murdered with?
He bought 2 statues. We only found 1.
For £2.05.
So
Ah.
who's that?
Paid today. We don't know.
Today.
So Everson
It's not
and
something.
Co. Where's that? What?
Well, what else have we
And
got?
then on Wednesday, he's talking to the Aberdeen... Greece tickets. So, you know, the Aberdeen Transport, you know, the shipping company that we've been talking about for ages in all of these different things. He was trying to book 2 tickets to get away on the Wednesday for the 21st of the 4th, 21st of April, so a week from now.
Although that should be 21/4.
in the English calendar.
rather
Yes.
than 421.
Bought statues.
And then on Thursday, he's going to well,
No,
Oh,
what's this?
yeah, go
he's
on.
going to see Mr. Kempfield at Romano's
Well, M. Kempfield.
or M. Kempfield.
So
A ticket to Greece
Why Greece?
from the Aberdeen. That says Greece.
Oh, right. That would make sense.
A ticket to Greece with the Aberdeen Transport Company. I assume. Greece tickets, so 2, you assume, or more.
Mhm.
And the next thing's all about Mr. M. Kempfield. You're there? Which
That's a
sounds
hotel.
like a hotel, although this is a hotel. So I
Romano.
assume
So M.
Romano might be a restaurant.
Kempfield.
Let's look at restaurant. Restaurant.
M. Kempfield.
What's the date?
Romano.
It's the
No, no.
11th.
In early
11th.
He died on the 10th.
He died on the 10th.
No, no, that's fine.
Romano.
I'm thinking.
The Romano is a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the middle we got Bacon and Co.
4th of April.
Accountant number 4275.
240
Oh, Mason withdrawal.
So last week.
2
Yeah.
£40 is a lot of money.
Mason. He signed it.
This is all getting pretty fishy. This is.
And then Langham Hotel, I'd assume.
Mm-hmm. March 26th.
26th.
26th of March. And he paid 3 and 6.
So look, there's the
Langham
26th.
is a hotel.
There's the 26th. There's March 31st.
Yeah.
So, so who's he having an affair with?
Well,
then?
the thing is, he's withdrawn £240,
Which is a huge amount of money.
Right, on the 31st of March, he's bought 2 statues.
And then he took money out after the fact. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the thing. Yeah, he's bought 2
Yeah,
statues.
but that's nothing. £2.50.
No, no,
to,
but like
to him, it's probably nothing. But he's bought 2 statues. We assume
this
one
must be to
can-
pay for this. He withdrew £250, £40 to pay
Yeah,
for the tickets. And this hotel.
The tickets wouldn't cost £240.
No,
No.
and
Oh, but
the
the
hotels
tickets
before
are
the
paid for it.
before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, no, but that's living money, isn't it?
2 tickets to Greece cost you
Not back then. Not £240.
Right, should we find some addresses for these people then, shall we? Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a woman. It's a woman who's
Well,
involved in
let's
this.
go through what we've found.
hang
Well,
on.
hang on then. If he's having an affair,
Let's not cast
Mhm.
aspersion.
no. But previously we've always overlooked. Is it Quinton Hogg?
Yeah,
Gossip rag,
The
man.
gossip guy. Like if
but that's society. So I think we'd be better off meeting the women first,
well,
His wife.
not his wife.
no,
Oh,
but
the secretary.
but the thing is, if we just go there,
Yeah, and I know what you
there,
mean.
like-
I know what you mean. It
like-
will use up a lot of leads.
Yeah,
All right. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I think if
Go back to the
well,
start.
well,
we had.
I
Still
think
got to see about his body and stuff. And
Is that-
well,
I don't know. I think blunt
no,
trauma
the-
to the back of the head is going to be.
the
statue.
statue. See
The
what it actually
statue
looks
statue
like.
and
No,
the,
what is it?
The statue might be worth it,
Well-
but I
Oh,
do
it's
think
actually worth £2.50.
No, but that's not. That's a lot.
No, I know
back
that's
then.
like £20, £25, something like that in old
But-
money. But
More, maybe even more than that. Like
Yeah, maybe.
pounds were quite a lot in
Maybe about-
1890.
40, 50 quid maybe in our money. Yeah.
I
Scotland
think
Yard as well.
Right, let's go. Let's get some names.
But I
let's get
think-
some details down for these people.
I think if there's
So we
something
fit
going
the
on
to the side.
with the woman, the best place to go is
So
Quinton
we've got
Hogg,
Ned Kimball.
the gossips.
But also could
Oh wait,
be.
no, we said it wasn't him because we've just spoken to him.
Yeah, we spoke to that
Oh
guy.
yes, we did.
So
So
he's
what's the
the
next
open
name?
there. Mr.
Lionel Foxcroft.
Oh,
So,
I did find his name. He is in here. He is at 46 EC.
Okay. Then Mabel Brown. Blousy Brown.
Mabel Brown. 40 NW. Lives there with a Sam Brown.
Cool.
So just
Right, Richard Cates.
Cates.
Yeah.
C-A-T.
I've heard of the carrot cake. I've even heard of a sponge cake. But I've never heard of a chocolate cake. Was it Kate's? Did I
Oh,
get that
wait,
wrong?
no. CAT.
That's what I thought it was. But K.
Two
A-T-S. Sorry.
If we go for 2.
Yeah.
So it is KAT, yeah.
I thought you were talking about the Kate's.
Richard
No.
Cates.
Yeah.
Richard Cates?
5, maybe 6
6
worth.
EC.
Just bought some snacks, but
6
proper.
EC.
Probably an underlined.
It said, got 2
I don't know the names.
anything else. 2 p.m. start.
And then the last one's, well, there's a few more actually. There's Bailey.
Yeah, Joanna Bailey.
Bloody kind of-
Are you guys doing something tomorrow?
We're going to Russ's.
Oh,
Some
cool.
games.
Ah, sweet.
So we're going to take Formula D. If you want to play that, I think that'd be good fun.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
And
Joanna Bailey. Is
6 people,
18,
5 or 6, yeah.
18 EC for Joanna Bailey.
Cool. Then we've got the Eatham Gift Company. Eatham and Co, sorry.
Evenson.
Were they shipping?
Evenson, sorry.
No, I reckon there'll be like a department.
Yeah, I would have guessed at that.
Probably not, but Eveson.
Your Aberdeen.
Evenson.
Evenson.
It's not an antique.
I look in the E rather than looking through all those. Evenson and Co Gifts.
Yeah, that's them.
22 NW. I know what he actually. I know he wants
Okay,
that.
right. Aberdeen Transport Company.
We know them well.
You again.
Aberdeen Navigation Company,
Yeah.
26 EC.
Okay, M. Kempfield. So we need a Kempfield. Failing that, a Romano's.
Romano's is definitely a restaurant.
I know, yeah, but I'm just saying if we could.
Kempfield Michael,
There we go, and then we'll go with that.
48 EC. And then Romano's is a restaurant. And it is at 19 WC. Although every time I've gone to the restaurants, it's never actually turned out that helpful.
Yeah, but, you know, first time for everything. Okay, Bacon and Co. A bank.
Oh god. Bacon and Co. They're not a bank.
Oh. Well, that's interesting then. What?
Private business, perhaps. Bacon and Co. 20 WC. So you want to see what kind of
Yeah, what
business
the fuck
listed
are
as?
they? Yeah. Oh, you're actually going to go through all the all the.
Well, is there any more names you want?
Yeah, just the Langham Hotel.
Langham Hotel. And then I'll have a look for that.
So what are we looking for?
What?
Just list what Bacon and Co. actually do. Apparently they're not a
Langham
bank.
is 36 NW. Now let's have a look for Bacon and Co. Find what they do.
Right, done. If you've got 5, you should take Escape.
It might be 6. That's the thing. Not,
That's really irritating.
yeah, I know. We don't know if it's 5 or 6.
I don't know. I don't mind sticking it over
Yeah.
Then again, Escape only takes 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. So. Yeah, third one.
Bacon and Co. are map sellers.
So what the fuck you withdrew £240?
No, he withdraw £240.
Has he just
Oh
wrote
no,
that?
that's a check. Bacon and Co. are withdrawing £240 from his account.
Has he wrote that on there?
Yeah, wrote that for them, maybe.
It's stamped with something.
Yeah.
Maybe he's paid them some money.
Well, that
Why-
seal
why
is
didn't
not. That cannot be the Bank of England seal.
They're map set. We need to write that down. They're
Why,
map
why
sellers.
does he need a map?
Or why is he in contact with a map company? What does that mean? No, I don't understand. Account. Because look, he has an account number.
That's his account number.
Yeah.
He's given them out of their account number and an order to withdraw £240. So that's like a receipt for a check, maybe.
What on earth is he buying from a map company that's £240?
Fucking huge
Something
map.
he's hiding in the statues.
Yeah, weird to buy statues to hide things in.
Where was the plaster dust? Was it around the table, or was it just against?
No.
It was battered overhead with it, I think.
Why did Bob be by the
But
window?
what?
Why did it by the window there?
Because the guy left out the window. He escaped out the window in the study, didn't
Yeah,
he?
but why would the plaster dust be?
Because
his hand is covered in plaster.
Because
Because
he's
he
picked
went,
up
BAM!
He's picked it up,
And then-
smashed it, smacked him with it, and probably taken it with him, and he's got plaster.
The thing
on
is,
him.
no, but
As
he
in-
hasn't taken it with him.
No.
No.
That's
No,
what's
but
weird.
there
That's
were
what's
two
weird.
statues, and only one is in the office.
Yeah.
So one of them. Where's the other statue?
Yeah, we don't know, but the statues can't be of like that much importance either,
Very
because
cheap
otherwise
out.
he would have taken it.
But I think if
Where's
there's a society element to it, like a fair or anything like that.
So you want to go and talk to Langdale?
Well,
No, Quinton Hogg, isn't it?
No.
it's Langdale Pike.
Who's
Langdale Pike is a society columnist.
Yeah.
who's Quinton Hogg?
Quentin Hogg is.
I think it's too early to go and speak to the society columnist
Quentin Hogg's a
myself.
journalist about criminal affairs.
I think that there are better leads at the moment than some
They
society
crossed
elements.
No,
over in one of
it-
the episodes.
Oh, yeah,
Episode,
yeah.
One of the
Okay,
adventures.
what
It's your
was
choice
it on
where
the
we go.
first page? What?
No, it's Claire's choice where we're going.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Might go to Scotland Yard.
Check out the paper.
Well, I want to know what the hell, but at the same time, they probably picked up bloody useless papers, didn't they?
Yeah.
They are Scotland Yard.
Exactly like. But
Although, what did he say at the beginning? He said, "Oh, we've been told to keep hold of the papers, and they're going to the bank." or
Well,
something.
hang on then. Hang on. Why don't we look at
Got a lot of people to talk to.
yeah, tons of
Foxcroft, Lionel Foxcroft, about
He's assistant.
No, Lionel Foxcroft is the governor
Oh,
who was
right.
doing this government audit.
yeah,
Oh,
who's
right,
done,
wow.
yeah. Because if there's
If there is a higher element to it, then Foxcroft would be the person to speak to.
Maybe.
I also think though that Mabel Brown, like I can't believe that she's just ill
Yeah.
because
Like to just go.
but but
Yeah.
she would give us a useful insight because a secretary would know about cheating and stuff like that.
Well, she'd
Yeah.
be doing his appointments.
Exactly. So like he couldn't have hidden it from her.
I will point out, right? There was a queen. I mean, I've read a bit of the paper, but there's a Queen Anne statue. Which is a monument, which is a replica erected. Maybe this has got something to do with.
Maybe,
But
but then you would go and speak to the gift company. But
then he'll just say
What was
he
on the
took
first?
two
no,
statues.
you don't know.
But
He
you might
could
say
come
what-
in. He came in with a lady.
Yeah.
You know, like
Rose is the wife and Cecil's the brother, isn't it?
yeah. I don't think we need to speak to the wife yet because whether she said they were happy or not, that wouldn't sell it for me.
Overly do much.
I think Mabel Brown. She's my vote.
I say Foxcroft.
I wouldn't be dissatisfied with Foxcroft.
Where's Foxcroft?
46 EC.
46.
Jot it down. No, as in
Oh,
Claire is reading that entry.
is that where you're going? Okay, cool.
I thought Claire wouldn't do the old. Oh, let's have a quick flick. Oh, it's small. We're not going.
Who are we against?
Foxcroft.
Foxcroft.
Lionel.
What
Although
was this?
perhaps that short one
Number
is.
3.
Yeah, number 3. Perhaps that short one would be. I did it. Oh, okay.
One of these days, one of them will admit to the bloody thing.
People are always very open when we speak to them.
Yeah.
Apart from that bloody bloke in the hospital. Magobo!
No, I always
Oh,
love the
God.
guy who crept out
Yeah,
from behind the
that's my
table
favourite
with
one.
his
Yeah.
big feet and then
With
shuffled
a
back
big hand.
and then shuffled back behind the table
Well,
to get his boots off.
it's like, how much time that was?
Fairly big, though.
So, Lionel Foxcroft, governor of the Bank of England, stands in front of his window looking into the courtyard. At our entrance, he turns and addresses us. Please, sit down. I understand that you are looking into the Oswald's death. I will give you all the help I can. What is it that you want to know? Well, the obvious question is, who killed Oswald Mason? I wish I knew. He was a good man, and I can't imagine anyone who would want to murder Oswald. We had great hope for him here at the bank. We understand that Mr. Mason was working on a special assignment at the Treasury. Yes, he was. Could there be any connection between Mason's assignment at the Treasury and his murder? I wouldn't think so. Great sums of money were involved, it's true, but I don't think there's any connection. Very few people know of Mason's involvement in the investigation. No reason that they should. Who knew? Well, to my knowledge, there were only 3 people who knew
Oh, let's see if we can guess. Are
what
they
he was
Mabel
working
Brown,
on for the Treasury.
Richard Cates, and Joanna Bailey?
Sir Adrian Malmquist,
Ooh,
At the,
Mount.
at the
Oh no, man.
Malmquist at the Treasury. So Adrian.
Yeah, I'm on it. Hang on. Got him.
So Adrian.
How's well Adrian? A-D...
R-I-A-N.
Cool. Adrian Malmquist.
And then Malm is M-A-L-M-Q-U-I-S-T.
Yeah. And he's at the Treasury.
64 SE. But apparently, he works at
Yeah.
the Treasury. His address listed in here is 64 SC. SE, sorry.
Cool.
Richard Cates.
Yeah, we've got him.
Mason's assistant.
Yeah.
And myself.
Well, what's your address?
It was you!
Could you tell us
Underlined
what
above.
Mason was working on? It is rather complicated, but if you think it will help, I'll try. I'll try. To understand what is involved, you must understand that the history of the bank, financially, is to all intents and purposes nothing more than history of the bank rate, and that's what this whole investigation is concerned with. Since the Bank Act of 1844, the interrelationship between the bank and the government has become more intertwined. I am sure you understand the significance of the interest rate on the business of and thus the well-being of the empire, and the most important factor influencing the bank rate is stability. Mr. Foxcroft, I think that's all we need to know at this time. You've been most informative. Good day.
Did I miss something there? What?
The government and the bank are very, very well intertwined.
So it might be the brother Mycroft. Potentially could be somebody we speak to.
Yeah, so I get the feeling that bit.
It's
that,
all.
well, I get the feeling that bit at the end is like, well, obviously yes, you're working on a very specific, and it was this, and he just goes off rambling on it, and you're like, okay, yeah.
So basically, there's probably no connection.
Right.
Yeah.
Something. I mean, do you want to note down those names before?
Yes,
I
please.
read it? Right. Okay. Looking in here, did she specifically say that it was a ladies' club?
I didn't write that down. If you did.
What was the thing?
Women's Social Club, wasn't it?
It
Or
was me
something?
who did that.
Doesn't it say in the paper?
No, but it says ladies and gentlemen's in here
For what?
for the West End Social Club. And if she
Oh,
said
there
it was
you
a
go.
ladies'
It
club,
might have been a ladies' night.
no, but it says it might say ladies and gentlemen to attend regular activities.
Okay, well there you go. So it was ladies and
No,
gentlemen.
but if she
Monday
says
at
it's a
8.
ladies' night,
I
then
don't-
she doesn't.
We haven't spoken to her.
No, but she's told the officer what it was.
It would be a.
Mondays at 8. And
Yeah, and then Thursday at 7, so she was there for 3 hours.
Whist does take a while.
I just want to look at whether or not she said.
Okay.
What was
But
the
I-
number of that
The
one?
first one.
The first one.
42 WC.
42 WC.
I don't think there's anything in that.
You never know.
Well, no, I'm just
No,
saying like, it would be a
but-
bit of a weird lie.
Well, so if she says it's a ladies' night, that doesn't get us anywhere.
No, because it means she could be lying, because it's not just a ladies' night, it's a ladies'. She didn't specify, but I'm saying that if she hadn't done, so it could have led us somewhere.
Okay.
And also, Small and Co. Was that one of the companies that was to do with the statuary?
No.
Because they supply miniature replicas of the world's greatest statues, just in case that.
Cool. So it's your call now.
Yeah.
Oh, this Richard Cates.
Yeah, it's interesting that his name's come up.
He is the only one that knew about the job. So if there was somebody to profit from all this,
But I also think Mycroft might be a good call too.
I'll talk to Kate.
we will because Kate might be able to give us a little bit. It doesn't sound like there's anything fishy. This interest
No.
rate, unless like by his murder, it's going to disrupt.
Where's
Interest
Kate?
rate.
6 EC.
Unless he's discovered something. I don't know. What was it? 6
6EC.
EC. And where are we going?
This is what was his name? Richard Kemp. Sorry,
No. Richard Cates.
Richard Kate. A young and well-groomed Richard Cates invites us in after we introduce ourselves.
Well groomed is always bad.
I really don't know what I can tell you. Mr. Mason was always a perfect gentleman and was truly well liked at the bank. Can you tell us anything about the work he had taken home with him yesterday? No, I'm afraid not. I sometimes work very closely with him on projects, but in this case he was handling it all himself. Well, that's a lie.
Is it?
They all knew that he was working on it, and I thought they were working with him on this.
No, we said who knew about it.
Oh, okay. He had turned over much of the routine work to me, encouraging me to take responsibility and make decisions. But I know nothing more than he was working directly with the Chancellor of the Exchequer on this highly confidential project. Perhaps Mr. Kimball could tell you more.
Which we've just seen.
Oh, shit. What a
Okay,
wasted
that was
visit.
dead end.
No, but he's
Means
working
Mycroft
directly
will.
with the
Mycroft or
Chancellor.
the secretary, I think.
Yeah, Mycroft would... I'm going to go with Mycroft.
Yeah, I think Mycroft's a good
Yeah.
idea.
I think Mycroft would ship to some money.
Or, yeah, and then...
8 SW. Oh, just saw an enormous one. We enter the hall of the Diogenes Club, Diogenes Club, and are met by a doorman. He shows us into the strangers' room where he bids us wait while he informs Mr. Mycroft Holmes of our presence. "Wiggins, how are you?" says Mycroft as he manoeuvres his large frame through the door. "I see you have your friends with you. Please be seated, all of you." "Thank you, Mr. Holmes. We are assisting your brother in investigating the death of Oswald Mason. Since I ordered the books for various government offices, I was sure Sherlock would want to talk to me about it." Did you know Mason? We had worked together on a number of projects over the years. A good man with a good mind. Did you work with him on the Treasury project he was engaged in at the time of his death? I had talks with him from time to time, but I had no official part in the investigation. Due to the political sensitivity of the situation, the Chancellor wanted an outside audit so there could be no question of withheld information. Do you think Mason's murder was connected with the audit? I'm guessing no from the shortness of this. No, I am sure there was no connection. In the first place, there were only a few people who knew what Mason was working on. In the second place, it would have accomplished nothing. We know who was responsible for the embezzlement. The only thing that had to be determined was how deep the damage went and what was to be done. Who was the embezzler? Michael Essex and Michael York, the directors of Bacon and Company. Bum, bum, bum. Michael Essex and Mitchell York. Sorry. York apparently spelt with a U.
And Mitchell York.
Yeah, apparently with a U.
I think it's going to be.
Your, as in your name is Ben, K-E.
Right.
It's not a misspelling. York. There's only a Basil York.
Mitchell York doesn't think that the murder...
Well, let's just go to Bacon and Company. We've got to go to Bacon and Company,
Yeah.
haven't we, now? Jesus. I mean, well, I don't know. This could be a complete whatever, but... I want to know now!
I'm not fussed with score, I just want to know what the fucking story is. Right, so are you going to go to Bacon?
It's not my call.
Are you going to trot to Bacon and Co?
Where are Bacon and Co?
Bacon and Co, I can tell you...
The map makers.
Oh yeah, they're the map makers. 20 WC, I just want to know about more fucking maps.
20 WC. It is intriguing that
You don't have to go there.
But he knows that if he doesn't, we will anyway.
I'll go there anyway.
It's that or the secretary, I think.
Do you still, if you want to go, if you want to go and talk to the...
Tell us anything.
What, sorry?
I don't think the secretary can tell us anything.
Well, it's suggesting now that it's not politically motivated, his murder.
Yeah.
Which would suggest, therefore, romance.
Yeah, I
Maybe. Who else have we got?
We've got...
Loads of people.
I should start ticking these
We
people off,
got
shouldn't I?
Rose and Cecily.
We haven't even seen the...
We haven't seen the wife or the brother. We haven't...
I just underlined the important thing.
We haven't been to the West End Social Club. We haven't been to Mrs. Edward Farmer. We've seen Ned Kimball. We've been to Lionel Foxcroft.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Mabel Brown. We've been to Richard Cates. We haven't seen Joanna Bailey, who was the head clerk. We haven't been to the Evesham and Co. Gift Company. We haven't been to the Aberdeen Transport Company. We haven't seen...
We have seen Kemp. Oh, no, we haven't.
No, we haven't been
No.
seen Kempfield or Romano. We haven't been to the Bacon and Co. We haven't been to Langham Hotel. We haven't seen Adrian Malinquist. We have seen Richard Cates, and we can't see himself. And we haven't been to Michael Essex or Michael York of Bacon and Co. Company. Richard Cates is really going to kick us in the face on score.
Yeah. Right. I assume that we'll go to Bacon and Co next. So I want to get Malquist out of the way because then we just finish off those three.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Because
So where are we going now?
Malquist.
Mam.
Oh, those are the
Malquist.
3 people involved.
They're the 3 people who know about the thing.
Okay.
Makes
Fair enough.
sense to close off a lead, I suppose.
Yeah, just close it off. Where is it?
At least
It
Mycroft
is
points us in the right
64
direction.
SE.
'Cause that's the important thing, that these guys all point us in the right direction. That's
64
that's the
SE.
benefit
Yeah.
of those.
It's in there.
This is where we go to the criminologist and he says, he wasn't killed by a statue at all. He was killed by a
You don't get-
fall onto his
Poison.
own chair from a great height. He sneezed and hit his head on the wall.
It was the ink.
It was the ink that killed him.
He's at his office.
Oh.
What, Malmquist is?
Yeah, 64 SE. A somewhat reddish Major Domo informs us that Sir Adrian Malmquist is at his office.
So he's at the Treasury. So the Treasury then?
Yeah.
Where's the treasure?
Should we just include that as one?
No.
No.
I suppose you should have worked out that he was going to be all work.
No. On the first one it gave us that for free, but Treasury under businesses. Good, you know, like
Government.
If you look at
under
it in,
T, maybe.
in the actual
Oh, look it in
in the actual thing, just look for the Treasury. Treasury of England. Bank of England.
Treasury,
Not
not
the
bank.
Bank
We've
of
been
England.
there.
Oh, there.
The Treasury. 12 SW.
Sir Adrian Malmquist.
What's the address, sir?
12
SW.
Oh, it's right there. Next to New Scotland Yard.
No, well, he did it. Oh, yeah, makes sense.
Government offices, Treasury, Scotland Yard are all around there.
Just read it up.
Go on then, go. Keep not on tenterhooks.
Tender hooks, not tenterhooks.
This is supposed to be a
No,
hot.
it's tenterhooks.
It's tender hooks.
No, I checked it.
It
It's
is
tenterhooks.
So it's tender hooks.
No,
because you're meant to be
tenterhooks
like-
makes sense, but tenterhook is a type of hook.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's actual type of hook.
I know, I always thought it was tender hooks because it makes more sense.
Sir Adrian Malmquist, KG, CB, Under Secretary Chancellor of the Exchequer, enters the conference room
He did it.
where we have been
Too many names.
where we have been kept waiting for the last 20 minutes. He is as imposing in person as he is portrayed to be by the newspapers. At 39, he is one of the youngest
Whoa.
members of the present government. He is tall, aristocratic in bearing, and moves and talks with great energy.
Sounds like a man that could climb through a window.
Yeah.
Sorry to keep you waiting, but my meeting with the Chancellor ran longer than expected.
I wish you were the chap.
Throws my whole day's throws my whole day's schedule off. This won't take long, will it? The Chancellor asked me to give you all the help. All the help I could. All the help. Here are the answers.
All of the help.
Yes.
Here are my
Yeah.
many servants.
Interrupts Sir Adrian as he paces up and down the room. I only met the fellow 4 or 5 times. Capable fellow, very capable. Damned inconvenient, this murder. Damned inconvenient. Mason was to have a report for me dealing with some embarrassing irregularities. So far, the loyal opposition hasn't got wind of the affair, and it is important that they don't until we have cleared it up and have apprehended the culprit. I assured the Chancellor that the matter would be concluded this week. Bloody inconvenient. Could we have to get someone to replace Mason. Do you have any idea who murdered Mason? Has it anything to do with his work here? That's what I must get. Please, Sir Adrian, if you would just answer a few questions, we may be able to throw some light on this matter. First, do you feel that Mason's death might have anything to do with his work at the Treasury? I wish I could answer that. I never expected it. There is no question that the investigation dealt with large sums of money, but murder, it just doesn't fit. It won't stop the investigation, just delay it. The papers that Mason was working on are...
But that might be all it needs, my friend. And I'm going to interrupt you, Mr. Interrupty.
To get away, maybe.
The papers that Mason was working on are all accounted for. But again, we had copies of all the important papers in our files, so taking them would not have stopped the investigation or saved the culprit. So it doesn't sound like...
But nobody took
It's
anything
not
anyway.
political.
Exactly, yeah, no one's
Yeah.
going to... Yeah. That brings us to the next question. Do you have any suspicions as to who the guilty party might be? No, I do not. Go ahead.
You! You killed him.
You must-
a crime.
You must understand the investigations come from the outside. The findings must... findings must be above
Are you
reproach.
okay, sir?
Findings must be above reproach, with no question of political advantage. Therefore, I have stayed out of the investigation. All I can do is give you what facts I have. That would be a good start. For the first time since he entered the room, Sir Adrian sits and faces us across the conference table. Here are the facts. As you know, the Exchequer is responsible for all financial business. I should say that the financial well-being of the Empire. This year, we were responsible for the distribution of some £600 million. A large sum to keep check of, but we must. 6 months ago, it came to the government's attention that Bacon and Company, one of London's largest investment houses, was in financial straits. So not a map, mate.
Well, they are map makers. Map sellers. Maybe that means something different.
Map to wealth.
Yeah.
Their difficulties had arisen because of their extensive commitments in South America, where political unrest, commercial instability, and often irresponsible financial policies of various republics have made any form of investment highly speculative. The firm is solvent, but it is not in possession of sufficient liquid assets to meet its current liabilities. South American politics featured largely in the story. Bacon's dealings were with foreign governments, the National Bank of Uruguay, the Buenos Aires Railways, and several other enterprises. Very early on, when the storm was brewing, and it was known in the innermost city circles that Bacon's position was insecure, the governor of the Bank of England, Lionel Foxcroft, had inquired of the Chancellor whether the Argentine government might not be persuaded to deal in some way or other with the enormous bulk of discredited South American securities that then weighing down the London stock market.
That what?
This is
The
still
Wayne-
going.
Yeah,
Oh,
goes on to the next page.
Go to the next question.
What? That weighed down?
So basically, because of the unrest
Yeah.
in South America, putting money in South America was very risky.
Right.
It sounds like Bacon and Company have been doing that, and because of that,
They've gone bust.
well, they're going bust. They
Right.
still have money, but they haven't got the
Okay.
liquid assets to do it, and
Is that why he withdrew his 240?
Maybe.
the interest rates have been at 5% since the first of the year. If the market had to assume Bacon's losses, the interest rate might rise to 6% or even higher. Well, you know what that means. Not really. Can you tell? That's what I'm trying to do, says Malmquist as he squirms impatiently in his chair. To make a long story short, I should have done this a long time ago. Her Majesty's government and the Bank of England have guaranteed to cover the discredited securities held by Bacon and Company and their investors. An audit of Bacon's books showed short-term liabilities totalling £3.25 million. A reasonable price to pay for long-term stabilisation of the economy.
So 3.75 million.
3.25. 3.25.
Right. What are you,
a
liabilities?
Yes. Discredited liabilities. Discredited securities, which are a liability. Yes.
Just like money.
Yeah. So
Right,
so things that were secure are no longer secure, and they're a liability.
And all the people who've invested in it.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
you've got secure.
Yeah. A reasonable price to pay for long-term stabilisation of the economy. Sounds good to us. We nod in agreement with Wiggins' concession. Yes, except for one problem. So far, we have deemed £4,570,000 worth of securities.
4 million.
5,700.
Right.
So they've saved that many so far.
Given out.
Yeah. Yes, except for one problem. So far, we have redeemed £4.57 million worth of securities.
Oh.
If the opposition finds out, we could end up being the opposition next year. We'll save their bacon, but we'll save their bacon. But darn if they'll profit by it. Malmquist pushes back his chair, removes a gold watch from his pocket, and opens it. Well, that's all the time I have. Any help you can give us would be greatly appreciated. Good day.
No wonder he talks so fast.
What are we looking for? £1.32 million. What
It's
else?
gone missing.
£1.32
million pounds has gone missing.
Yeah, because it should have only cost them £3.25 million to secure,
But they've spent.
spent 4.
So there's £1.32 million that's gone missing.
Yes.
Floating in the wind.
What else?
So
That the difference between what the audit showed on Bacon's books and the securities that we have redeemed. Where did these securities come from? Damn it! That's what Mason was to tell me. Sir Adrian bolts out of his chair. Bloody inconvenient! I certainly hope Holmes will apply his considerable talents to this matter. I am sure Mr. Holmes will be interested in this matter if they will throw some light on Mr. Mason's death. Yes, of course. We're all concerned with solving Mason's murder. If we can solve the murder and clear up this matter at the same time, so much the better. Good day.
So it
That
does
was a lot.
sound to me
That-
that there is something to be profited
that
from
was-
killing him. Yeah.
More than a page.
That there is
Bloody
something
hell.
to profit from killing him because
Yeah.
by delaying it, there's got to be something to profit from.
Yes. Yeah.
So-
But as he says, all the papers, none of the papers are
Stuck around,
taken. So it doesn't sound like a robbery, but it does sound like someone's killed him to shut him up because he was going to
He was about to reveal
reveal where the
was-
money's
Where
gone.
the
where the money
gone.
was gone. Yeah.
So that's somebody who stands to profit from time. That's the thing.
I wouldn't be surprised that we turn up and find the receptionist or whatever she was,
Secretary.
secretary dead. You know.
I don't think she's dead.
Should we go to Baker?
I think we've got to go to bed.
Yeah.
Okay. Where
We
are
have
they-
to find
where
out
are they
what
at?
20 WC.
And it just gives us that much more now that we know.
Yes, man. Mycroft sounds like he's full of shit.
Oh dear.
Oh, that
Oh no!
It's closed. Come to the bacon
We
house.
are informed that due to the advice of their solicitor, the directors of Bacon and Company will not discuss the matter now under investigation.
No. Oh well.
So, where else should we go?
And those people weren't in the directory. Those two chaps,
Not
Yourcroft
sure.
and all that.
I don't think we found the name. Should we? We found the.
Yeah, you're.
Nobody's at home.
Oh, we never found the addresses for them.
What was the other one? York something, and the other one was.
Mitchell and Michael. Michael York. No, Mitchell York,
Yeah.
which was York with a.
Yeah, it's not in there. Yeah.
Okay, and then Michael.
Essex.
Essex. London. Essex.
No, no.
Michael Essex.
Yeah.
He's in here.
Oh god, no.
He'll say he's currently
19
at work.
SW. Oh, maybe.
Is that where we're going?
Yeah. Michael Essex.
Oh, hang.
I did.
Oh,
I just,
7,
yeah.
8. Yes, so this is number 9.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, it is 9.
Yes, 9.
Yeah.
So Michael Essex, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Essex is an obviously sick old man, probably closer to 70 than to 60. Mr. Essex, we are investigating the death of Oswald Mason. He was working on an audit of Bacon and Company at the time of his death, and we would like to ask you some questions about your company. I have nothing to say to you. You can take any question to my barrister. It actually says cake.
That's how sick he is.
Charles
Bring my
Attard.
cake from my
Charles Attard. And that is it.
Charles.
It actually says cake.
Damn it.
You can take any questions to my barrister.
What's Charles what?
Attard. A-T-T-A-R-D.
I don't think the barrister's going to tell us anything.
He's going to say, go
No.
away.
Bollocks.
Oh, I want secretary. I think we should follow that route. Or go to the women's club and check out the White Alibi.
know if she was actually there. Seems odd for her to have done it, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
Well, unless there's another woman involved. But I can't believe that she killed him. Like, I bet when we meet her, she'll be this frail little flower of a woman who never could have climbed
let's
through
go
the...
and see if the receptionist is ill then. Let's go and find out what's happening.
I feel like all this bacon stuff, though.
There was nothing really to go down with the bacon.
There was no
I
other,
suppose.
the other guy, wasn't it?
What about this guy you met for lunch at Romano's?
Who did he meet at Romano's?
Kill...
Kempfield. at
Kempfield.
Romano's.
Yeah.
M. Kempfield. 19 WC.
Was that Romano's or was that?
I don't know.
I think
The
Romano's.
one in red is Romano's and the other one's is Kempfield.
48 EC is that Kempfield then?
Okay, so we can tick off Bacon and Co.
Who was he, the other person who knew? about the...
We don't know anything about this guy?
Oh, you just met him, didn't
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
it's
don't know
just in
anything about
It
him.
was in his ledger.
Let's go and talk to him then, I guess.
So M. Kempfield.
Where was he again? You did just
48 EC.
Okay. Yes, I am Michael Kempfield. What can I do for you? We're investigating the murder of Oswald Mason. Did you see him recently? Isn't this terrible? I was so shocked by the news. Yes, I saw Ozzy just yesterday.
When I caved his head in with a statue.
We had a late lunch together where I killed him with a sandwich. Did he say anything about which might have indicated that he was worried or that he feared for his life? No, nothing at all. I thought the police suspected a burglar. Why would anyone want to murder Oswald? The police do suspect a burglar, but we have to check out every angle. Did you see each other after that? Is there anything at all that you can tell us? We got together much less often than either of us wished. We were friends at school and have maintained that friendship for over 20 years. Ozzy didn't seem worried at all yesterday. He was looking forward to...
That ruins the fair angle.
It's always so hard to see someone one day, a vital alive person, and to realise the next that they're gone. How is Rose taking all this? I really must call on her. Go and see Rose! She's staying with her sister. Thank you for your help, Mr. Oh, she's staying with her sister. These are totally out of place. Thank you for your help, Mr. Kempfield. This is on the same line as his talking. Thank you for your help, Mr. Kempfield. If you think of anything which might help, anything at all, please let us know.
Bollocks. Let's go and speak to the blinking wife, aren't we?
Cuts Rose out of the equation, doesn't it? Well,
So let me just tick him off there.
There's nothing in any of the papers about.
I've been looking at South America and maps and looking for their names. I mean, I could have missed something.
Right, what have you seen anything about statues?
Statues are in here. There's two things about statues.
Yeah.
Dude, we should just go to the gift place about these
If
The
it's
statues.
Queen Anne statue.
Yeah, the gift place one.
Alright, I'm going to go to the gift place.
Where is the gift place?
Listed
Oh,
after...
Everson.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, 22 NW.
Crap, that's the one. It was there.
No, this isn't very well. We browse around the shop for a few minutes as Mr. Rodri Dalcher, the shopkeeper, concludes the sale of a small brown glass bird to a young bird-like woman. When she leaves, we introduce ourselves to Mr. Dalcher. We're looking into the murder of Mr. Oswald Mason. Among his papers was a receipt from this shop dated March 31st. Can you tell us what you purchased? Oh, yes, here it is, he says as he consults his sales record. He bought 2 Venus de Milo statues. They delivered them for him. Where were they delivered? They were shipped separately on Mr. Mason's instructions. One to Mrs. Rose Mason on 42 Tottenham Court Road, and the other to a Mrs. Mabel Brown of 40 Devonshire.
That's a bitch.
Those statues have certainly proved to be good sellers. I sold the remaining 3 to another gentleman Wednesday. That was his name, not the date. I surely hope that I will be able to get more from the manufacturer. And who might that be? J. Small and Company. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Darker. You have been most helpful. Not at all. My dick is very big.
God damn Mabel Brown.
Told you.
Boom! Called her on it. No bitches get sick when people are dead.
Right.
I've killed many a man and his wife rarely gets killed. Oh, where are we gonna go, A-Dog?
J. Small and Co. are ceramics and miniature
Yes.
makers of the world's
Tasty
greatest
brown.
statuary, finest quality.
Don't get me wrong. We're gonna go there now and you're gonna be like,
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Oswald was so kind. He knew that I loved women with no arms. And so
He gave me one of
he
the.
cut my arm
no,
off.
we're gonna get there. Mabel Brown is a buck-toothed old woman
With no arms.
and a husband of 72 years.
We were married as infants.
He tries to climb the stairs, but he can't even make one step. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. He
Go
couldn't
on.
go through a window.
Where is it?
Mabel, she's near the front.
Yeah,
oh no, she's
wait.
like that.
She is 40 NW.
Oh, tick off the
40 nights watches.
Ah, and it did say delivered as per his instruction.
To two
Yeah.
different.
So not
people.
like, hey, Mabes, in you come, babe. I've got you a statue.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I will be so disappointed if this doesn't pay off.
It's just
Is she big? Is she a big old girl?
Good length.
She's a good lad.
We are met at the door of Mrs. Brown's lodgings by her landlady,
Mrs. Brown's boys.
Mrs. Quinn.
Terrible,
Quinn with two N's.
Like she introduces herself.
Quinn, like the jet.
After introducing ourselves, we inquire if Mrs. Brown is in. Yes, she is. Poor dear.
Same bloody landlady that works at every.
I've been so worried about her. She hasn't eaten in days, and she didn't go into work today. Has she been with you long? Close to 3 years.
3 days.
Ever since she married Sam.
Oh, piss.
It must be hard on her. Sam being gone so much. He's a merchant seaman with Jardines, you know.
Oh,
Jordan,
God.
not Aberdeen.
And yeah.
Merchant seaman.
He's,
No, we didn't know. Have you known him long? Oh, my.
2 years.
Oh, yes. Ever since he was a baby. Sam, his mother, God rest her soul, was my dearest friend.
Oh, wow.
Sam has been like a son to me ever since Martha passed away.
Oh, God.
Almost 10 years ago.
Oh my God! Stop speaking in years, woman.
Martha lives at 42, doesn't give a shit. Yes.
Oh, where does the time go? Says the- Here we are. This is the door to Mabel's room. Mabel, dear, there are some people here to see you
This is
about,
like Some Like It Hot.
about poor Mr. Mason's death. I'll be right there. Comes a voice.
Where's she from?
I've got a different voice.
I'll be right there.
Hello, Mabel. I love Sam, my merchant seaman.
Comes a voice from behind the door. Seconds later,
Man
the door
boy.
is opened by a young woman in her
Young.
early 20s.
Young.
She has flowing black hair,
Flowing.
which emphasises the delicate beauty of
Delicate.
her ivory complexion.
Oh my God! How much is this woman sleeping with him?
Please come in.
Well, you've got me.
If you need anything, dear, just ring, says Mrs. Quinn, who's already started back down the stairs. How can I help?
Feed me cats!
How can I help you? Asks Mabel Brown as we enter the room, and she crosses the door behind us. As she closes the door behind us, crosses.
Get out!
Plague,
woman!
plague is here.
My landlady's not here!
We understand that you have heard of Mr. Mason's death.
You've heard of Mr. Mason? Yes, I worked for him for 10 years.
Yes, this morning, Joanna, Miss Bailey, from the office stopped by and told me the bad news. Ned, Mr. Kimball, gave her the day off, and she stopped to tell me.
It's so hard having skin made out of ivory.
How long have you
I'm
been?
hunted all the time!
How long have you been Mr. Mason's secretary? 3 years, ever since my graduation from Bedford.
Bedford, you whore.
Do you know of any reason why anyone would want to murder Mr. Mason?
Oh no, his
Oh,
throbbing
no.
penis.
He was such a nice man. He was so considerate, always remembering everyone's birthday.
Warning on butter.
Last week he gave me a lovely
Warming
little
on.
statue. At this point, the tears she's been trying to hold back begin to trickle down her cheeks.
Oh shit.
And last night, it fell off the table and broke as if it were an omen of his death. Joanna woke me.
But did it?
Joanna woke me this morning and told me of Mr. Mason's death. As we were talking, I turned and saw the broken Venus on the floor.
Woke me and told me. Joanna,
No, this morning when she came round. Remember Mabel's ill?
Yeah.
yeah, she's been asleep all night. She didn't know the statue was missing. Was brought round to her. Maybe, I don't know.
No, someone could have broken it.
Yeah, and then said, "Oh, look, it fell off the thing."
I turned and saw it. As we were talking, I turned and saw the broken Venus on the floor, and it struck me so. With this last with this
Sound it out.
with this last, she breaks into loud sobs.
Come on.
Loud sound. oh.
I'm so
The
sorry.
landlady's back!
What are they doing to you?
I'm sorry. But no, it's just really badly. With this last, she breaks.
With this last, she's so overcome. There isn't even a word.
That's all right. We understand. We
That is
understand.
acceptable.
We are sorry to have to intrude at this time. We have to check with everyone who might shed some light on this tragedy. I want to help. Please go on. Do you know of anyone at the bank who might have wished harm on Mr. Mason, or anything involving his work that would lead to his murder? No. I need to burp. Sorry.
No, I have terrible gas.
No.
What's
As
a
I said
fish with
before-
stew?
As I said before, he was very considerate of everyone. He was well liked. His work was mainly routine and concerned primarily with the operation of bank audits. He's been involved of late with some work for the Treasury, but I know little of that.
No.
Mr. Cates might know more. But he often did work for government agencies. No, there is nothing I can think of that would have caused such a consequence. Well, thank you for your help. We hope you'll soon be feeling better. Thank you. I will ring for Mrs. Quinn to show you out. We meet Mrs. Quinn outside the door,
Hello.
and she leads us down the stairs. I hope Mabel isn't in any trouble. No, not at all. Just routine, we assure her. She has had so many problems of late. She and Sam always fighting when he's home, and then being gone for long periods of time. A hard life for both of them. I heard her crying last night after she came in. I should have tried to comfort her, but I was already in bed. Life is hard.
So she was
Hello.
Well, have a good day.
Wow.
She was
Mrs.
out
Quinns
last
has just cracked the case,
So she was out last night.
and Mrs. Quinns was in bed when she heard her
came
crying.
out.
But I go to bed at 5 every day.
So, also,
I am that
OMG.
so her statue
M. Brown.
Here's her statue.
is broken.
Yeah.
She used
What's
it
happened to the other statue?
He went over the head with it.
Yes,
Head
but
over the
was-
head.
But was it at the crime scene?
Yeah.
We need to see we need to work out what these. If these statues aren't the Venus de Milo statues that he got hit with,
Yeah, it is.
we don't know that.
Yeah, we do.
All we know
The
is
Venus de Milo would be great to
Okay,
bludgeon.
if it's not the Venus de Milo, then a lot of it is pointless in the book, which I don't think it will be.
But sometimes the books do this.
Yeah.
Like, we
I
can't
think
just
we need to go
assume
and
it's the Venus
speak
de Milo.
to Joanna Bailey.
That's the only person from the work we haven't talked to. Then.
Yeah, because Mabel Brown's like, oh yes,
Babel.
I found out about his horrible murder from Joanna this morning. But obviously she didn't, because she came home crying last night. So we need to know what Joanna thinks of the situation. And maybe Joanna's like, oh yes, Mr. Oliver was ever so kind. He would always pick up things when Mabel would drop them.
It's that or the wife. I
Oh,
think.
not the...
No, the wife's going to... No.
Boo on the wife! Boo, I say. What do you think, Ben? I wouldn't mind going to speaking to the bloke about the Venus de Milo statue.
Just so like it's
Oh,
like,
where was
was
it?
this the murder
Who?
weapon?
Who?
The criminologist.
Like because if it's not a Venus de Milo statue, then we're just going down the wrong.
No, but it is... Okay, so...
Okay, but of everything else we've heard,
yeah, I mean, it points to that.
what else?
I
No,
vote
no, I
Joanna.
know. No, but-
I vote Joanna.
Yeah, I honestly think
But
going for
but
criminologist,
that-
just
that-
that statue is pointless.
Where'd Joanna?
As in, it will literally lose us points.
No, that would be point negative.
They don't care about that.
80.
18
Yeah, but I
EC.
do.
Can you imagine if this is how police had to solve crimes? Oh, you went and spoke that
is
with
the
us.
only thing that annoys me that normal police work wouldn't get you by.
But Sherlock Holmes isn't brought in to do normal police work.
No, I know.
Okay.
He's meant to solve it in as least as possible, but then when it comes to the actual fucking jury and the court, none of it would stand up.
You ready?
Where have we gone?
Joanna.
Joanna Bailey, baby, baby. Oh, Bailey, Bailey, Bailey. Oh.
Okay.
13 and go.
18 EC.
Joanna Bailey has ivory hair and black skin.
Shit! Wait.
Stop! Don't speak to Joanna Bailey.
Where did she live? This woman?
18 EC.
18
Will any
EC.
lady or gentleman assist a young lady in very reduced circumstances with a loan of £100 to enable her to learn a profession that would place her in an immediate position to gain a competency to support herself and mother? Joanna Bailey, 18 EC. Weird thing to put in the...
I will open my legs.
So
So perhaps Joanna.
I mean, we're
goes in
going to
on
see
it,
her
'cause
anyway,
She wants
but-
some
well,
moolah.
well, she doesn't. She doesn't want to be.
Beholden.
Well, no.
She's a clerk at the
Yeah,
Bank of
yeah,
England.
she
How is she
doesn't-
struggling for money?
Well, no, maybe she isn't.
She
But maybe
has no competency to support herself and mother at the moment.
This seems like bullshit. Go.
Okay,
Unleash the Bailey.
Immediately saw
Well,
that.
18.
18.
How big are we looking, Claire?
Ooh, that's...
No, you know what, Claire? That is a perfect. That's
That's
perfectly
okay, that's
average.
fine.
That is perfectly average.
Please come in
Joke's
and have a
acceptable.
seat. An energetic woman with extraordinary big hazel eyes ushers,
Big hazel hands.
eyes ushers us
hands.
into a small
And a
parlour.
chestnut face.
She is in her mid-40s, but
Oh,
her greying hair
Can't
is less
climb.
noticeable than her spirit of youthfulness.
spirits of youthfulness.
Isn't it terrible? The good,
Oh,
the
isn't it
young, they say. The good, the young, they say?
The good, the young, they say.
The young.
It doesn't
The
say
The good
and.
die
It
young.
just says the good, the young.
The
The
they
good
say.
die young, but
They
the young.
certainly
The good,
don't
the
look
young.
any better
Oh,
than
is there-
Mr. Mason.
Is there a con between?
No.
Oh, okay.
The good, the young.
They say.
That's gonna
They
be my new
certainly
saying.
don't go any better than Mr. Mason. Miss Bailey.
You said Mason.
Miss Bailey, is there anything you can tell us about Mr.
funny.
Mason's work or his personal relationships which might aid us in our investigation?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
I can't imagine anyone wanting to kill that nice man. I went into work early today and Mr. Kimball told me that the tragic news and gave us the day off. I was so upset when I heard the news that I went by to see Mabel Brown. Poor Mabel seems to be
Oh
having
God, I'm
such a
trying
bad
to say her
time.
first name.
I know she has not been entirely happy with her husband Sam. It must be difficult with him at sea so much. When I told Mabel about poor Mr. Mason, she was shocked. Thank you, Miss Bailey. If you think of anything else which might help, please let us know. Yes, of course. I certainly hope you catch that killer. London's just not safe anymore.
Oh, piss.
Wasn't very good.
What a fucking thing to put in that she needs some money.
Why does she want £100?
Why does she not have chairs? Why has she got chairs if she's so poor?
Maybe it's got nothing to do with
Maybe
it.
it's a red herring.
Red herring, yeah.
That's irritating. So she told us nothing.
Yeah.
Bollocks. Although she did confirm
Can we tick her off
that
the
he's
list?
not happy, that she's not happy with her husband.
And she went to see. I think,
Yeah, it was confirmed. She said she was shocked, but... Oh, you know what it's going to have to bloody be?
The wife.
The bloody wife.
Do you want to go and talk to the wife?
Or the brother.
We'll find out exactly what happened.
I'm not sure on the brother.
Well, they're at the same
He hasn't
residence, so her and her brother.
What-
No, she's at her sister's.
No, she's at her sister's. It's his brother. It's
Yeah.
Cecil.
Oh, right.
And then I feel like there's one other thing we haven't talked to. Oh, the hotel.
We haven't talked to the hotel.
The hotel could swing it.
I think the hotel over the wife.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's try the
Ha,
hotel.
that's certainly what Oswald thought.
Alright, where's the hotel then?
Hold on then. Let me go.
The Langdale.
Langdale Pike. Langham.
36 NW.
Come on, Ben. N my W.
I'm just ticking off.
Oh no, it's Titchy.
36 night watch.
Marshal Guilfoyle, manager of the Langham, talks to us.
Talks us.
Talks us.
To us in the hotel lobby. Yes, I know Mr. Mason. He often used our conference rooms for his business. Can I do another one? That was shit.
No!
You do it.
Oh no way, that was it.
That's it.
Oh, piss
I
flaps.
can't fall for business.
Yeah, back on one. Yeah, better one.
I like that. What a hotel room. I like that. It's so Britney Spears song that Simon uses in the Young Pod. Because none of them working. And they're like, oh, we can never get anywhere. And he's like, you want a better house? Better work, bitch. You want a mine of gold? Better work, bitch.
Okay.
Can I talk to someone else?
We haven't been to Aberdeen Transport.
Oh no,
Company.
let Ben go there because Ben,
No, I don't want to go there.
you love that company.
I want to go
Been
talk to the
gift shop, hold
wife.
on.
So why is he going to Greece if he's boning Mabel Brown?
No, he's going on a trip with Rose to
Have
I know. So why is he taking his wife
Have
to
we
Greece?
seen
He's not
Adrian
probably not-
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think he's boning Mabel.
I'm going to go and talk to the wife. What's the wife? Where's the wife?
Who's the wife? What's the wife? When's the wife?
Oh, Rose is at 6.
Why is the
wife? Is the wife?
33
The good,
WC.
the young.
She's at sisters, isn't she? 33 WC.
Jeez. This is so annoying.
It's a big one.
Oh,
It's a big one. Alright, a big one.
that's gonna be the last big one, you bastard.
Talk loads. Mrs. Rose Mason, her face pale against the black of her morning dress,
Describe her face as ivory.
joins us in the ivory parlour.
Where we shoot the elephants.
In the evening parlour for tea cakes. She is a handsome woman, not a good word for a woman, in her late 30s.
Handsome woman.
We offer our condolences before asking the deceased accountant's wife to tell us just what she remembers of the previous evening's events. I went out to the West End Social Club for my weekly whist game as I do every Thursday night.
She has a game night. That's awesome.
I left Oswald alone at home, working on the papers he had brought here from the office. He's been so busy lately. He had been so busy. He's dead now. He's been so busy lately that he has had time for very little other than work. When I returned home about 10 o'clock, I went immediately to the study. Mrs. Mason almost loses her composure, but continues stoically. The place was such a mess. Books were strewn around, furniture overturned, and there in the midst of the wreckage was poor Oswald.
Dashed against the rocks.
I can't think of who would want to hurt him. He was the dearest man on earth. Why, only last week he gave me a Venus de Milo replica to commemorate our 17th wedding anniversary.
What a weird anniversary.
Have a look at this now-armed woman. We spent our honeymoon in Paris, and we often went to the Louvre to see the original. Oh, there you
That's
go.
probably why, yeah.
Yeah, but so why did he give the same thing to his secretary?
When I saw the statue broken into pieces, the rest of her sentence is lost in her sobs.
Dude, because the statue was a symbol of his and his wife's love, right? So crazy old Mabel Brown, right, scoops on round, and she's like, the symbol of your love, and she kills him with it because she wants what's his chops, and he was going to be like, no, we can't do this anymore. I'm going to go to Greece with my wife.
We're sorry to trouble you at this time. We know it's hard on you, but we only have one or two more questions. No, please. I want to help. Only a little bit more.
A little bit more.
Was your husband expecting any visitors last night? No, in fact, he was looking forward to being alone. He said he only had a few hours' work left, and that he could do the report for the Treasury at the bank the next day. Cecil, his brother, was to give us an anniversary party on Friday, and he... Mrs. Mason is unable to continue. Tearfully, she leaves the room on the arm of her sister.
A sister. Well, I'm thinking little old Mabel with her ivory skin. Ivory,
Gets on well with Ebony.
right? Ivory.
Not historically.
Ivory.
No, but lyrically.
Lyrically.
Ivory skin. I think Mabel did this. She's young, she could climb through a window.
Right, so, not motivated by money in
No,
any way.
no.
The old people at the map store knew they were going to be fucked anyway.
It's not a
so-
map store, it's
They are
the...
map sellers,
They're investment
but
bankers.
they're also map sellers.
Okay,
It
fine.
says in the fucking directory that they're map sellers.
That's the director.
It says in the fucking directory that they're map sellers, right? So it's nothing to do with them.
No.
He goes out during the week.
Good point.
He goes out a couple of days, well, the month, a week before. He goes out a week before his death and buys 2 Venus de Milo statues, sends one to Mabel and one to
The symbol of
his
his...
love for Rose.
Yeah.
Which she takes offence to this.
No. He's going to leave Mabel.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So in the end, she takes offence to this, goes round to his house, steals herself into his office through the window.
No, I think she went to steal...
Do you reckon she...
Oh! She went in through the window so no one would see because his reputation was impeccable, right? So she goes in to speak to him. He tells her, look, I'm going to Greece. I'm not going to be with you anymore. This has
And
to
she
stop.
goes ape shit.
Yeah.
And she's like, you can't leave me! And she grabs her then, plonks him on the head.
Right. I know you don't want to go there, but going to the criminology,
I know,
you
I'm fine
might
with that.
tell us about the dust print. You might say, oh, it's not
It's
a
a
woman's
lie,
print,
yeah.
it's a man's print.
Yeah.
I think we've
Approval.
I think we've missed something.
I don't think we have. I think we're on the cusp.
I think there's something is.
I think there's something.
I'm
missing.
almost there.
So what's the criminologist?
22 SW, Murray.
I don't think we've got it yet.
We find Dr. H.R. Murray in his laboratory, as usual, his white hair wisping about his face.
His ivory hair.
Everyone's ivory.
Oh, what? Great Scott, what case are you young sleuths working on today? The Oswald murder. Do you have anything to help us? Mason! Looks like your Mr. Mason was killed by the man with the broken nose. The man with the broken nose? You mean you know who the murderer is? No! Not the murderer. The murder weapon.
Is this brass eye?
With this, old Murray picks up a marble statue with a cracked head, more obvious than a broken nose. This is a copy of a very early Rodin, the man with the broken nose, sculpted in 1864.
What did I fucking say?
No. She killed him with this one, but then she broke the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
You can see the bloodstain here. I understand that this was one of the two. Just realised what I'm doing. I'm doing the guy. Woof! I'm doing I understand that this was one of two statues on the fireplace mantel. Apparently, the intruder grabbed this one and killed Mason in the struggle. Not much else I can tell you. Woof! Well, thanks. Oh, hang on. Well, thanks anyway. Woof! Woof!
So killed with the Rodin, not the Venus de Milo.
Which means that was not used as a murder weapon. It was shattered through anger.
Like she grabbed it, smashed it
Yeah.
against the wall, and then as she was leaving, she put her
Yeah.
handprint in
Yeah.
the-
Oh, they were arguing.
Yeah.
Oh, you crazy bitch!
Yeah.
And then
What do you think we're missing then?
I don't.
let's go to Sherlock. Case solved.
I don't think it is.
Case solved.
I don't know. There's,
Oh, you
Fine,
cowards!
let's-
You
let's-
cowardly custards!
something doesn't feel right.
Okay, let's go through it all. Right, okay.
What about we could go to Scotland Yard and look at the papers if you like, but I think
No,
that'll be
no,
a
well, that'd be-
complete...
Yes.
Papers are all been cleared up.
Okay. Then what about you could go and look at the body if you want, but
It won't.
Oh,
Unless it-
they told us nothing about the handprint, did they?
No.
it won't tell us anything, no.
No, I mean,
we've got it. We've got
no,
it. She did it.
We could go to the Western Surgery.
I think we've got it. No, I don't think that tells us anything.
Rose.
Yes.
We're not blaming Rose, are
No,
we?
but like, what if she wasn't there and she was in the house?
It's a weird lie.
No, because again, everything to do with that theory, it doesn't work.
It's Mabel Brown. She came back
Yeah, because
the night and she
because
cried.
why? Because why is Mabel
Yeah.
Brown coming back and smashing a statue of Venus de Milo?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
No,
We all
no.
know it's true.
We should still think about this.
I think we've got it. I just
There'll
don't
be
like.
there'll be a question, I reckon,
There's
somewhere that
something-
we'll be like,
I-
what the hell?
I just don't like how Mabel Brown has got into like a second story window without any real.
But she's
obviousness.
But there's going.
ill.
But she's not ill
No,
though.
but what if
She's
she is ill, and that's the point? We're not meant to see.
No, she's not.
No,
though.
no,
She's
because-
distraught over him going to leave her.
and
But
Or
been
maybe
off for
she's
a lot-
pregnant.
She's been off for a lot longer.
Maybe
No, she
she's
hasn't.
pregnant. No, it's only a few days. Maybe she's pregnant.
and her being ill would have come up in the interview with her. It would have confirmed her being ill.
Yeah, more so.
She her ivory skin looks paler than it normally would, or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
there'd be something about her being
Pale
ill.
as alabaster.
I vote. We go and we do the thing.
It's Alex go, but
I know. Yeah. I'm just putting my vote.
I think we've covered all the bases we can.
Yes.
I don't think we'll get anything else out of going.
I agree.
like-
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm going back to that first case we did when we were like, oh, but we need everything. Blah 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 blah. And sometimes you just got to go, and you got to.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, I think it is her. The only thing I don't like about it is her getting into like a second story window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, like maybe I bet there's someone who if we spoke to, oh yes, Mabel used to be a circus performer, or whatever. But I mean, you could get into the second
floor window of this house.
Probably, yeah.
You know,
it
she's
would
not
take a lot.
able.
It would take a lot to. It's quite an effort to climb that high into a room. If
She's
you're not,
early 20s.
And it said the window was forced open.
Yeah.
it's not to force the window open.
With
as well,
what?
is it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know where we're going to get an answer to that question.
We need to work out. Which way was? Does it say which way the last name?
Brown.
Just make sure there's nothing in the paper
Fair
about
enough.
Brown.
I won't disagree with you. However, I will say, we've solved the case. Arrest Mabel Brown.
Which one?
Mrs. Quinns is going to need a new lodger. Warning on butter.
That's what it's been reading.
I was obsessed with butter earlier. I kept coming with butter quotes.
So who did we go see Murray?
Yeah.
Yeah. The other two
He's
do
in
it.
Just For Me.
No.
We haven't seen. The
We've
bodies
seen
at
a lot of
Bart's-
people.
The bodies at Bart's and the papers are at Scotland
It
Yard.
was
We never go
really
see
good.
this.
The body isn't going to tell us anything.
No.
I'll just say he's dead.
Unless there was something on the body,
Maybe.
as in his clothes or something.
Yeah, but
Because
I mean,
normally he tells about his personal effects.
the
don't
thing
he?
is, though,
Yeah.
we know the murder thing. It was a big old blunt bronze statue. Like, it's a crime of passion.
Mm.
She didn't go around intending to kill him.
But it was like a crime of passion.
Yeah, well, he told her.